If you're into designer furniture and you want the sofa that broke the internet, you don't have to go broke to get it. Because Designer Looks Furniture has all the same styles and trends and all the quality, but without the designer prices. Check them out. Designer Looks at American Signature Furniture or designerlooks.com.
I'm Gary.
This is Austin.
And this is Midwest Mike's coming back at you with another show live from our YouTube channel. If you're watching us, or if you were listening, you could be on iHeartRadio or Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, any of those apps that you use to get audio. We're there.
And we want to say shout out to Spreaker because we use that software or the app for years now, and they've done an awesome job shooting it out to all those sites. So love that. So I would say too, advice if you're want to start your own show, own podcast, Spreaker is awesome, been great for us. So
yeah, we've never had any issues with that.
No, never. We love using it. So they store all your old shows and stuff like that. So it's been really awesome. So yeah, Midwest Mike's YouTube going pretty good. So enjoying that. YouTube is super easy too.
Yeah,
I would recommend being on Wi-Fi when you try to upload it. Otherwise, it takes a long time. But get on Wi-Fi before you upload the video, and you're good to go.
Yeah. So heartbreaking loss for the Chiefs. It was a good football game. Started out kind of boring, Chiefs running away with it. And then, the Bengals kind of slowly fought back in it.
One of those things where you could tell, like watching the game, it's like it's the last play of the first half, and the Chiefs are down on the 2 or the 3. And the play call is, well, we think we know what the play call was because Andy and Patrick both touched on it in their post-game press conference. And it was supposed to be just like a shot over the middle. But instead, it was a shot over the middle. If he's not open, then Mahomes throws it to the back of the end zone, and then you get your field goal. But it's like a 2-second read because you have 5 seconds on the clock, and I actually agree with that play call 100% because Mahomes is fast enough to read it, not there, go. Or, he is open, boom, hit him, and you're good to go. Instead, he hits Tyreek on the left for like a sort of a screen type deal and doesn't get it. Tyreek gets tackled in bounds, and the half runs out. And so you go away with no points there, and it's a little bit of a momentum killer because the Bengals had already scored a touchdown before that. So it was 21-10 at that point. And you're still feeling pretty good. Like going into halftime, I'm still feeling pretty good. I'm pretty relaxed, really, most of the game until the fourth quarter comes in, and I'm like...
Yeah, Mahomes was really bad in the fourth quarter and overtime.
Like, really bad. You know what? And the weird thing is the contrast. Yeah. First half is through advanced stats and all that stuff. I've been listening to some stuff. I mean, he was like almost as perfect as you could be, he had been. It's like God mode Mahomes was first half, just like this first Cincinnati game. And then the second half was pretty similar. So, what is it? Is it credit to the Bengals making adjustments and their coaching staff and the players and all that? Or is it more Mahomes getting cold or a little bit of both? I feel like both because Mahomes did look off. Him and Andy weren't on the same page for a lot of that stuff. And you can see Andy's face was pretty pissed off when he made on that last play, when he made the wrong or didn't do what he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
He's kind of pissed. I'd be pissed too. You drew up a play and your quarterback didn't follow it. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. So, but yeah, Bengals end up just chipping away at the lead the whole time. Come back, and we go to overtime, win the coin toss, feel really good about that, and then we throw. He throws almost an interception, and then he does throw an interception,
which it was a tip ball.
Tip ball, but
he could have thrown. He could have made a better throw.
But
it was tipped. So Andy Reid has now won 3 conference championship games, 2 here in Kansas City. They were 2-2 over the last 4, and then he went 1-3 in Philadelphia. And 4 they went to
3 and 5.
So he's 3-5 in championship games. There was some hate saying he's not the right guy and this and that. I mean, I'm not
If you're into designer furniture and you want the sofa that broke the internet, you don't have to go broke to get it. Because Designer Looks Furniture has all the same styles and trends and all the quality, but without the designer prices. Check them out. Designer Looks at American Signature Furniture or designerlooks.com.
The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors have the expertise to find exactly what you need and the ethics to do the right thing, even when it's the harder thing. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Advocating for the man to be fired. But as a Chiefs fan, how do you feel him being 3-5 in championship games overall, 2-2 here in Kansas City over the last 4?
Well, at first sometimes you can say, well, shoot. Philly fans say, would like talk a little trash and say, told you. This is why we got rid of him. On the other hand, you go, well, what the heck? You get rid of Andy Reid, and then who do you go with, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're going to move on from your head coach you have now, unless your head coach is horrible, you need to have somebody, or you need to have, you've identified some candidates where you're like, okay.
These are upgrades, right?
Yes. So, when the Chiefs moved on from Todd Haley or Romeo, it was, hey, I don't think Andy had been fired at that point, or maybe he had. And so the Chiefs already knew. But at the same time, it's like, dude, those guys were so bad to where you go, hey, somebody's going to be out there. Or, worst case scenario, we get the same thing. So you might as well pull the trigger. But anyways, I'm not on that for Andy. I'll keep Andy Reid here till
I mean, when I was screaming for 4 or 5 years for Jason Garrett to get fired, I'm saying that we're the Dallas Cowboys. You can get any coach you want, right?
Right.
And I had seen the Jason Garrett. It was the same movie every year. I mean, you were 9-7, 7-9, 8-8,
so, real quick,
10-6.
They had losing seasons with Garrett.
I think 1 or 2.
Okay. Because I got keep going. I got a point to make.
And then they did have the 1 year where they were either 12-4, 13-3, got the number 1 seed, and then had an early playoff exit. But they were right around mediocre most every year. And I had just seen that play out over the course of, however long his tenure was. I think it was 9 years.
Right.
And I had seen it the first 4. So the last 5, I was, there's got to be somebody better that we can get.
You're right. And so here, and another thing for me too is, and the reason I was asking about the losing season, obviously we know Jason Garrett didn't win a Super Bowl, is that some of the most successful organizations, they hang on to the coaches for a while. I think the one that comes to mind for me is Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. Tomlin's 1 ring. 1, yeah, Carroll's
2.
No, yeah, 1.
Oh, yeah, 2. That's right. Big Ben had 2 in his career.
2.
1 with Cowher, 1 with Tomlin.
And I'll say this with the quarterback too, with Pittsburgh and Big Ben. I guess some people were saying Pittsburgh may move on from Big Ben. I'm like, this dude brought you 2 Super Bowls, and really, he's still better than half the quarterbacks in the league.
I mean, Mike Tomlin has not had a losing season in 15 years.
And Big Ben has been hurt. This dude's had to start Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's okay, we just take a step back. Injuries, everything, right? The dude goes through it. So, for me, Andy Reid win a Super Bowl, I'm good. I mean, unless we totally implode, which this, when you go back to that, what I'm saying about the Steelers is, they never do, right?
No.
They're always there.
Yeah.
And then really...
Even this year, I mean, people were saying they were dead to rights. And they made the playoffs.
Here's the thing, too. You tell me. So we know Big Ben moved on. Pittsburgh goes and gets a veteran guy, or even drafts somebody. Mm-hmm. They're probably going to win 8-9 games at least, right?
Yeah.
Because just the mentality and all that stuff. So, kind of going back, I would say I am not on any kind of get rid of Andy Reid. I mean, we went to the AFC Championship 4 years in a row. I mean, my people that want Andy Reid gone are spoiled. They're spoiled Chiefs fans. And I would think they actually were probably not watching any games when we had Todd Haley and Romeo. I'm serious, man.
Yeah.
It's what are we talking about?
I mean, it is really hard. I've said it over and over. It's really hard to get to the Super Bowl. It's really hard to win one. I mean, there's a reason why the Patriots run and what they did over the last 20 years is so remarkable.
It's like the Packers. If the Packers were like, we should get rid of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Aaron Rodgers has been there,
Saints
15 years, whatever. Aaron Rodgers has only won one Super Bowl.
Same thing with Saints and Drew Brees.
Drew Brees won one Super Bowl.
You imagine the Saints saying like, "All right, Drew Brees, you ain't won another Super Bowl. You're out of here." Or Sean Payton.
By the way, I did watch while we're on the Saints. I watched that movie last night on Netflix.
Sean Payton.
The Sean Payton movie. It's worth watching.
So yeah, no spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers.
It is worth watching.
It's worth watching. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Kevin James is really hard to believe as Sean Payton. But
what a weird casting.
Yeah, what a very weird casting. But it's a Happy Madison production. I mean, I'm an Adam Sandler fan. Adam Sandler is not in it. Doesn't have a cameo unless I missed it. But I did enjoy the movie. I mean, it was entertaining. Hour and a half. It was a quick watch.
Okay.
So, I wouldn't say, like, go out of your way to watch it. Like, you got to leave here right now and go watch it. But if you're bored and, you need something to turn on, like, and you're a football fan, like, it's a pretty cool story.
What I have heard a show that you should do that is with Ozark.
Yes, Ozark's
So
amazing.
I've never watched Ozark. So Christy's on it. I haven't watched it, but I've heard I need to.
I finished it all. I'm waiting for the next part to come out already.
So what they do? Season 4's out, and they divided it.
Yeah, they divided the last season 4,
and so it's in 2 parts.
Yeah, I watched part 1 already. So
okay, yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, I'm with you. I don't think the Chiefs necessarily move on from Andy Reid right now. I mean, because who are you gonna get? Like, there's 8 to 10 coaching openings every year. Jim Harbaugh obviously saying he's staying at Michigan. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But, I mean, who are you going to get?
Exactly. And so, I mean, any fan that I feel like is pretty decently, like, rational, I haven't heard say, like, this kind of stuff.
Yeah. It was
a lot of, like, the
overreaction
Monday stuff is just, like, it's too much, man. What are you really looking for? You really want the Chiefs to move on from Andy Reid?
Yeah. I mean, and I'm sorry to say it, they're not going to replicate what Brady and Belichick did in New England.
I mean, really, is anybody going to do that?
No one is. Like, it's
somebody might. I mean, there's a chance for sure. But come on. I mean, that's like no. It's like it's not going to happen, dude.
Yeah.
Brady's the best quarterback I've ever seen.
So Tom Brady retires this week. Made it official on Tuesday. We both agree he is the GOAT.
Yeah. Almost brought him back.
Yeah, almost did.
His last game.
Do you have a favorite, like, Tom Brady moment or game that jumps out that you remember watching?
I mean, easy. 28-3.
Yep. Same.
I mean, we were here. And like the game got to 28-3. And like I was like, all right. And then I think somebody was like, let's play beer pong or whatever.
Yeah.
So we jumped up, we put the table up, we started playing. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, Patriots scored a touchdown. And I think somebody said, like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah, 28-10.
Then he scored another one, and I'm like, huh? And I think after the second touchdown, we said, all right, let's stop playing.
Yeah.
And we ran back over and started watching. And I was like, holy crap.
I mean, we still had the TV on. We were in the same room.
Yeah, it wasn't like we quit watching, but it was we were definitely like, this game is like pretty much done.
Yeah.
Because it should have been done.
It should have been.
So weird kind of goofy play calling from Kyle Shanahan, which we saw on Sunday again. I'm not saying he's not a good coach. He is. But that, and then just Brady being Brady and Belichick there, and Belichick's defense showing up big time in that Super Bowl. But Brady showing up big time. Well, all of a sudden he had to turn it on, and he turned it on and brought him back, and you go,
he almost did it again.
And that's
27-3.
Yeah, and really, so that Falcons game, that's when I started saying, this is the best football player I've ever seen.
Some people were questioning because Brady in his retirement comments on Instagram or whatever didn't say anything about New England. Any? Do you think that means anything?
No,
I don't either.
No,
I mean he took out like a full page ad when he left New England, like thanking them, and I feel like He was more talking about his 2 years in Tampa.
He's still going to be loved there. I mean, he's still loved
Yeah.
there. He's going to be in the Ring of Honor as soon as they want to do it, and probably next year.
Yeah, I saw some Patriots fans hating on him about that. I'm like, dude, come on, like.
No, it's just being ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
And then Belichick came out with a statement late yesterday evening, in which the highlight of it to me was he did call Tom Brady the greatest guy to ever play the game.
True.
And then Brady did respond and say, thanks, you're the best to ever coach the game. So, I think that they do have a mutual respect, and I don't think there was any real animosity there with Brady and Belichick. I think maybe Brady was like, I just kind of want to go somewhere different and have a little fun, like work for a different – and we all know Bruce Arians is probably the polar opposite of Bill Belichick, right?
Yeah, I mean, there was.
At least exterior wise,
like Brady, if he wanted to take off a day, like could just take off a day. I mean, Brady was really had a lot more control.
Yeah,
and if you really kind of look at the rosters too, a roster that was kind of geared towards winning. Now was Tampa. You can't beat the weather, can't beat the taxes.
Yeah.
Like everything about it was awesome. I mean, his last playoff game was like 60 degrees or whatever. Like, dude, like, he's just like, dude, I want to choose where I'm at, and I want to kind of coast out.
And I think he had earned that right.
100%. And I'm sure, Belichick was open to the challenge and still is open to the challenge of trying to win one without him. And Brady was open to the challenge of trying to win one without Belichick because they were forever kind of tied together. So, so Brady's already accomplished that. I don't. My gut says Belichick does not get another ring. But at the same time, they made playoffs this year, and the Patriots are a good team.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's whatever. But, GOAT, one of the greatest to ever do it. Never had, besides like Deflategate and stuff, which is all kind of who knows.
Yeah.
Never had like major scandals or anything like that. Like, pretty, stand-up dude. So, I mean, salute to Tom Brady.
Yeah. Also came out this week, Brian Flores, former Miami coach, who we both thought should not have been fired.
Right.
It had a couple winning years there. Says that, the NFL, he participated in a couple different sham interviews that he felt like were just to satisfy the Rooney Rule.
So one, I mean, I would say the Giants one, I think for sure was.
Yeah, because he actually, in the lawsuit, has text from Bill Belichick saying, like, hey, they're going to hire DeBall from Buffalo. And, that's like 3 days before his interview. So that looks a little fishy. The other one, kind of the other big thing that he named was he said that John Elway and other Denver executives came in an hour late to his interview. Hungover, disheveled, definitely had spent the night drinking previous. I don't know if that's true.
I mean, I understand that maybe John Elway and them should have been a little more professional, but I don't put as much stock into that because I'm like, those guys they decided to have a good time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that one, the Giants, yeah.
And then obviously with the Dolphins and him being a minority and getting fired after kind of 2 losing seasons. We also...
No, winning seasons.
Or winning seasons, yeah, excuse me, not losing seasons. Also said that the Dolphins owner offered him $100,000 to lose games.
What's your gut say about that?
I honestly would not be surprised.
I would not be surprised.
Miami is not a good organization, right?
No. Is that something we talked about last week where it's like...
They're kind of a mess. I will say this. If it is true, that guy should be forced to sell his team.
Agreed.
Because as an NFL fan, okay, I don't want an owner who is like willingly losing games. Now, how far down did that get? I don't know. Like maybe it was just conversation between him and his head coach. I don't know if there's any proof to it. I don't know if the guy did it or he did not. But I know, as a coach, I would never go to one of my players and say, like, hey, I want you to miss this tackle so we can lose the game. Like, you know what I mean?
The real way you do kind of not, and it's not tanking. You're like, okay, we're over the cap. We got a lot of veteran dudes. We need like a reset, rebuild. You don't try to lose. You just go, you commit to, we're going to go young, and we're going to maybe trade some of the older guys to build up some draft picks. And then maybe this year we'll trade some of our draft picks for next year. So we're going to stay super young. But obviously you still try to win, because guess what? When you are deciding that you want to be good again, and you willingly made your team horrible, free agents are like, I'm good. No, thank you. But say you went super young and you were winning like 5-6 games. Like, okay, some of the veterans are like, I can come in, I can show these guys like what's up. And get them 10.
It's kind of the same
culture.
Like in high school coaches, obviously me being in it, but other guys I've talked to. Like when you go into a new program and you're going to rebuild it, sometimes you're like, I can go out here and I can lose with these 4 or 5 seniors that are just not very good and not very strong. They don't know how to win either. Or I can play these 4 or 5 sophomores in those spots, and they're on the same level right now, but I got these sophomores for 2 more years, right?
Right.
And you're still trying to win, but you're like, hey, you feel bad for those seniors, and I'm not saying you do that all the time, but there has been times where those conversations happen in high school coaching offices. Like, hey, do we play these sophomores over these seniors because they're really the same athletically and strength-wise?
And it's more of like a long-term benefit.
Yeah.
So like that style, I understand. They're like losing games on purpose. No shot.
No. There's
no way Flores would have gone along with that. And the thing that sucks about it is, for it to get like that, I bet there have been some coaches that did that.
Yeah, so
because it ain't gonna be like invented overnight.
Hugh
Jackson.
He says that he got money in Cleveland for losing games. The Cleveland owner has denied that.
I saw part of my take was like, Hugh Jackson, now certified billionaire, was like losing games in Cleveland for money, and it was like, yo, how rich is Hugh Jackson? Real, that my man lost a lot of games.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a bad look for the NFL. I do hope that they do their due diligence and investigate it and find out if there's any truth.
If Stephen Ross did that,
he should be forced to sell the team.
If the Cleveland Browns guy did that, for sure. I don't know how they're going to prove it for sure.
Yeah, but if he did it, he should be forced to
sell the team, dude. You're not trying to be competitive. You're not trying to win. And the NFL should really want to get rid of him, because guess what?
You want competitive teams.
You want competitive football. Why was this season one of the best seasons that we've seen? Because freaking the playoffs were awesome. Every game's close. There was a ton of parity going into week 17 or week 18. Like so many. There was a lot of teams that could have moved around spots, and a lot of teams that could have got in the playoffs. Like, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. We don't want to see teams that are tanking.
And think about this. What is the only thing that you have to watch live in your life?
I got what, sports?
Yeah, sports.
I can't record it.
And mainly the NFL, right?
Yeah.
I mean, other sports too, college basketball and stuff like that. But
the only reason you'd ever record a game is if you're like, I'm falling asleep.
Yeah.
And when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to finish it real quick.
But think about it. Like, in our childhood, like, television, there were certain shows that were appointment TV, right? That you all had to watch every week.
Yeah. Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. But that's not the case now. Pretty much everything else you can record and watch it on your time. I mean, that's why streaming is such a big deal. Mm-hmm. But you can't do that with sports. So
no.
But yeah, so the NFL is going to investigate into that more, I hope. I hope they get to the bottom of it. Will Bryan coach in the NFL again?
I don't know. No, I don't know.
I don't think he will.
I don't think so.
I don't think he will.
That seems
but
like
I think he knows that.
Nah, probably not. Probably not get this guy. So
okay, so we're going to play a little game here.
Most of the teams will be pretty easy unless there's like some kind of you think there's something crazy going to happen.
Yeah. So, do you want to go through the AFC or NFC first?
I will say this: what we're going to be doing is we're predicting the Week 1 starters. Yeah, I'll say that. Week 1 starting quarterback for every team. Some teams will be super easy. Some teams will not be. And some teams will take like wild guesses on. I actually have I thought about a kind of a wild one that not wild. It's not wild when I think about it.
Ooh, okay.
Let's go. Well, we're going to go AFC.
AFC first? Okay.
Okay, read the team off, and then you can go first. I'll go second.
Okay, and these are just in alphabetical order. So,
okay, cool. Okay.
No rhyme or reason other than the alphabetical. So, here we go. Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson.
This is actually one I had a question on. Not because I don't think he's their long-term starter, because I didn't know if there'd be contract problems. But I'm going to go ahead and say Lamar Jackson.
Okay. Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen.
Real fast on Lamar. I'm assuming you would extend him.
Yes, I would.
Okay. I give him a big.
Lamar
I give him a big old contract.
Yeah. So
okay.
Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Okay. Cincinnati Bengals. Joe
Burrow.
Cleveland Browns.
That's interesting.
That is. I am going to say that Baker Mayfield is going to be the Week 1 starter. That organization is run so poorly that they won't have an extension for him or anything. But he's still under contract for one more year.
Yeah.
And I don't think he'll hold out or refuse. He may hold out, but he won't refuse to play in games. So I'm going Baker Mayfield.
I actually want to go Baker Mayfield. And part of me thinks they should. Part of me thinks they should. Well, for this year for sure, they maybe should have started Case Keenum because Baker was hurting. But Baker for at least one more year, or at least 6 games at least. Baker Mayfield. He's not great.
Yeah. Denver Broncos. Okay.
Interesting.
I've been saying this one for a while. Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is going to Denver.
I'm also going to go Aaron Rodgers to Denver.
So, Chiefs fans, watch out. Maybe a new sheriff.
I am 50-50 on that. I think there's a shot he stays in Green Bay, but
yeah,
Denver makes a lot of sense.
Houston Texans. Boy, who started their last game? I don't even know.
The guy I'm going to go, Davis Mills.
Okay.
Davis Mills.
Yeah, that's who I'm going with also, Davis Mills.
I don't think they start Tyrod Taylor.
No.
Outside shot, free agent-wise, I don't know.
Yeah.
Nick Foles, he's not free agent. Well, maybe, yeah. Something like that. But they probably just roll with Mills, honestly.
Yeah, I think so. Colts, Indianapolis Colts.
That's another interesting one.
I mean, I think they stay with Carson Wentz. I think they gave up a lot to get him, and I think they stay with him.
I actually had there was like a veteran I had pegged for this. Yeah, let's just go Carson Wentz for now. It's a lot of money to give him up on their dead cap.
Yeah.
But if they could somehow get in that Aaron Rodgers mix, I think Rodgers would actually really like playing there.
Yeah, I mean, dome team.
Not a crazy hard division.
Yeah.
Same like kind of what he's used to. So, I mean, and, for all intents and purposes, a coach guys like with Frank Reich.
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever. I'm about to stick with Wentz.
Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence.
It's Lawrence.
Yeah. They're not moving off him.
I don't think so.
Kansas City Chiefs, they're not moving off Mahomes.
Patty.
Obviously. Raiders. This is an interesting one. With Josh McDaniels coming in, but I think that they will stick with Carr, and he'll be their starter next year.
Interesting one, too, because I don't know if McDaniel wants to go in a different direction or he wants to stick with Carr. But I'll say Carr for now because he got him to the playoffs, and let's go Carr.
Yeah, and remember, it's February 3rd when we're recording this, so a lot can change between now and then. But
yeah.
These are just way too early, like, to speculate. And
I hadn't really like thought about it too much. I was like, let's just go through it and like see if there's anything where we go, whoa, hold on. You know what would actually be interesting is Derek Carr to the Colts. Would be interesting to me too.
Yeah.
So
Chargers, Herbert. Miami Dolphins. This is an interesting one.
I'm saying Tua.
Yeah, as of now, I'm sticking with Tua also. I think any shot of them getting Deshaun Watson left with Flores. So,
I agree.
I just think they're not going to have a better option.
We'll go Tua.
New England, Mac Jones. I don't think Belichick's going to move off him.
Mac Jones, for sure.
Jets.
I think I still ride with Zach Wilson.
Yeah, me too. I don't know. Pittsburgh. This is an interesting one.
Interesting for sure.
To me, their MO is not to go get a veteran guy. So
they love having the veteran guy at the backup, right?
Yes.
So they had Charlie Batch for a long time, who was a former Lions quarterback. Mike Vick for 1 year. Mason Rudolph is a draft pick that has been he's been in their system for like 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was a Steelers, you know what? If I was a Steelers fan, I'd be happy all the time because my organization is just this. Like,
it's just steady Eddie.
Hey, like if they would say, hey, do you think the Steelers have a shot at winning a Super Bowl in the next 10 years? I would say, yeah.
Yeah.
We have a shot every year. What the heck? So, with that being said, who do you think Rudolph?
So, I think they're going to go with a rookie. I think they may try to make a move for a guy like Nick Foles. And draft a guy.
Oh, that's good.
And then Nick Foles can kind of start out the season, and then they can get the rookie in there. I haven't looked at all the names in the draft. I know this isn't a deep quarterback draft, but so I'm not exactly sure.
Who's the one guy coming? Is it the Oregon guy?
See if I can Google it while you kind of talk about your.
Yeah, so Pittsburgh's interesting too because you really want to see is there a thing they're going to go after a veteran guy? Because really the last time they went after a veteran guy, last time a veteran guy started for them and won games for them, is you got to go all the way back to Tommy Maddox when they picked him up from the XFL. And really he only came in because Cordell Stewart got hurt. And I think they drafted Cordell. I might be wrong about that, but I think they drafted Cordell. The thing that is really kind of crazy. Oh, dude, I just got it. Pittsburgh trades for Jimmy Garoppolo, dude.
Jimmy G, huh?
I was just like, I know there's a veteran guy out there. Jimmy G, he's not flashy, but this dude wins games. He would, I think, pretty boy a little bit, but he would be okay.
So it looks like right now Ole Miss has the top-rated quarterback coming out, Matt Corral.
Oh, wow. Oh, sweet. Oh, man. Yeah, okay. No good.
That's CBSSports.com.
All right. Hey, guess what? The quarterbacks that we're not hyped on, one of those dudes is going to be, freaking awesome. Yeah. to watch.
Kenny Pickett from Pittsburgh was the guy I was trying to think of.
So I'll say Garoppolo for Pittsburgh. I'll going back to Colts if they figure out something with Wentz to get him out. I could see them getting Jimmy G for the Colts too.
Okay. All right. So Tennessee Titans. They're not moving off Tannehill in my opinion.
Yep.
Okay. So that's the AFC.
Oh, okay.
NFC. Again, alphabetical order. Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray. Atlanta Falcons.
That's interesting too.
It is. I think they will keep Matt Ryan for one more year. I don't think they move off of him yet. But I do think they draft his successor.
I would say they draft a guy because I think they're going to say, hey, it's all good. Let's just draft somebody. And really the thing is
Matt Corral.
Matt Ryan didn't. Yeah, they drafted him.
Malik Willis from Liberty.
Oh, huge raw talent. I wouldn't say he's the most amazing quarterback, but his talent talent is awesome. power. Because we watched him a few times because we bet on him.
Yeah.
And I remember watching him going, this dude
He can play.
crazy.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say like well-rounded. I would say just like.
He's kind of like a Lamar Jackson, but not as much hype and obviously not that talented.
And he is an NFL guy.
Yeah.
But with
Atlanta. So I think Matt Ryan.
I could see if something happened and he wanted to go somewhere where he could, hey, one more run. Like I could see him like. What about Matt Ryan to Pittsburgh?
See, I don't.
They don't really go after veteran guys, but at the same time,
really
like
do that. But maybe
what about Matt Ryan to Colts? If they could figure out, that's it. They have to figure out Wentz's contract.
Yeah.
Or is Matt Ryan a big upgrade over Wentz?
See, I don't think he is. Other than he doesn't get hurt.
I'm gonna say their day one starter is not Matt Ryan. It's a draft pick.
Okay.
I don't know where Matt Ryan goes.
All right.
Maybe I'll figure it out by the end here.
Maybe. All right, Carolina.
Matt Ryan. No, it's
I think
Darnold.
Yeah, Sam Darnold.
Cam Newton.
Sam Darnold.
It's so bad.
Yeah, I think Sam Darnold.
It's so bad. It sucks.
Yeah, it does. Sam Darnold.
It stinks. All right, Sam Darnold, sure.
Okay, Chicago Bears, Justin Fields.
Yep.
Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott. Detroit Lions, Jared Goff.
It's interesting too, right?
Yeah. But you don't have an upgrade.
It'd be a very Detroit Lion thing to start some third round draft pick.
It would be.
So I'm going to say they draft a quarterback and they start him.
I mean, another terrible ownership group, right?
Yes, like one of the worst.
Green Bay Packers.
They start
Jordan Love.
They start Jordan Love.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
I think Jordan Love also. Because, like I said, Aaron Rodgers, he's going to be in Denver. He's going to be wearing orange.
And I feel like he'll be just fine.
Yeah. Los Angeles Rams.
Matthew Stafford will
not
retire. He'll win a Super Bowl and he won't retire.
Minnesota Vikings.
Kirk Cousins.
So you don't think they move off Cousins?
Guaranteed money.
Even with new coaching?
Guaranteed money. They cut him. They still pay him the whole contract, dude. His contract is 100. It's 100% guaranteed. And also, I would say this: if Minnesota decides to move on from him, that's the same thing. Like, where's your upgrade?
Yeah. So not necessarily based on talent or merit. It's just the money situation. I'm actually going to go with you.
We'll look up his numbers later and stuff. His numbers actually are good.
Yeah.
I think that they were really not well coached to me.
New Orleans Saints. This is crazy. Jameis, huh?
Best quarterback you ever seen in your life. He pitched the ball to the deep, trying to fake pitch to the defense. I actually really like Jameis Winston in New Orleans, or Jameis Winston to grab another starting job somewhere, because you got to remember this: they actually were playing really good ball pretty good ball while he was there.
So Dennis Allen's probably going to be the head coach there, right?
So they just keep it going.
So yeah, I definitely think now, since Tom Brady retired, I mean, that kind of opens up that division again, right? I mean, I know we're not predicting divisions today, but between them, Atlanta, Carolina, and Tampa now, no Tom Brady.
No, it doesn't.
There's not. Nobody's a lock, is it?
I'll tell you when we get to Tampa's new starting quarterback.
Oh, okay.
Even though that could be Jameis, I could see actually Jameis going back there.
I'm going to go with you on Jameis there.
Sure.
New York Football Giants, Danny Dimes.
They got Dimes. They do Dimes.
They
do Dimes one more year.
I feel like they said before they hired their new coach, like, hey, we're not moving off Danny Dimes.
They ended up being the worst football team. They ended up being the worst football team in the league. They were so horrible.
Even after they fired the worst offensive coordinator they could have hired.
Like, it's so dysfunctional, horrible.
Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts. I don't think they move off him.
Hurts, small chance Minshew. But I think it's Hurts.
Okay. San Francisco,
Trey Lance.
See, I think Jimmy G, man, he's gotten you to a Super Bowl And another championship game.
Would you be surprised, though, if it was Trey Lance? Would you be like, whoa?
I honestly would be surprised if
the way that John Lynch, Jimmy G is quoted as saying, I know my time's like over. I really want them to talk to me about what I want to do. John Lynch shakes everyone's hand after
and
the
then
game,
hugs him.
I think Jimmy G's done there. But I think they love him.
Like, the fan in me, and even though I'm not a 49ers fan, but the fan in me is like, if that was my team and this guy got me to 2 championship games, 1 Super Bowl, I'd be like, God, is Trey Lance really an upgrade? We don't know.
We don't know. He is. I feel like you get similar production and help your cap, and so it's a good move.
Okay, maybe cap numbers.
But I understand what you're saying. You got
Seattle
Seahawks. Stick with the guy that got you there. That's an interesting one too. But for now, I'm going to say Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
A month ago, I would have said not Russell Wilson.
But dang, even now I'm like...
But today, I'm going to say Russell Wilson.
Because there are teams...
Because he's not going to go to a small market team.
No.
I mean, not that any of these NFL markets are really small markets, but I think that they'll now wait a year, and I still think he's going to end up a New York Giant. Because I think he wants to be in the New York market. And he ain't going to the Jets.
No.
So I think Russell Wilson stays put one more year.
You don't think... man. You got to figure out which organization is better. Jets?
Nah, Giants are a better organization.
I guess.
I mean, they've had more recent success.
That's true. I don't know.
But anyway. All right, Tampa Bay.
That's it. Hey, big trade.
Big trade. What you got?
Deshaun.
Ooh, Deshaun Watson.
If you're Tampa and you can bring back your defense healthy, and you have Godwin and you got Evans, Gronk ain't coming back, but your backup tight end was good too.
Yeah,
you had like 3 or 4 running backs. 2 of them dudes are coming back for sure. The O-line is when healthy is good. Throw the farm and pull a Matt Stafford trade for Deshaun Watson because nothing has happened with this investigation.
Yeah.
And nothing is going to happen. So go get him. Do a Matt Stafford trade and go grab him.
I actually, now that you say and talk through that.
I don't know how I just was thinking, and I'm like, Deshaun to Tampa makes a lot of sense. That
is not crazy to me either. Like Tampa, you have some young guys, so you have some cap room. You have some draft picks. You can go get a guy like that. He can come and help you win. Now, obviously, it changed the offense a little bit, but
maybe even. I mean,
I could see that. But
you basically have more. You got more because as far as like a downfield ball, Deshaun's got Tom right now.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as football intellect, Tom is like the thing is you don't have like the freedom you have with Tom Brady where you're like, here's a play, and Tom's like,
that doesn't work.
Blah 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 blah, and I can just change the whole thing. You got a little more reins on Deshaun, but dang, you give Deshaun like Godwin and Evans. That's pretty good. Tom chose that team for a reason to where they were already built, and he basically jumped in and said, "Hey, Gronk, come on."
So here we go. Last but not least.
Oh, this is an interesting one too.
Washington Commanders.
What do you think about that name?
I think it's fucking retarded. Excuse me. I shouldn't have used that word.
Not a kid's show. What, dude?
It's a dumb name. I hate it. But I'm going to call them the Commies.
I like it.
I'm going to call them the Commies. It's Cowboys. But here's where I think Deshaun Watson's going to go.
Oh, yeah. I don't hate that.
Because Washington has a history of making questionable choices, personnel-wise and coaching-wise. Now, not that Deshaun Watson is a questionable player, because his talent is through the roof. I'm with you. The criminal investigation's gone nowhere.
I think it's garbage.
There's nothing there.
I do, man.
But I think they will just make an offer that's ridiculous to Houston. and they get Deshaun Watson. Their thought is Ron Rivera coached a young Cam Newton, which Cam Newton, Deshaun Watson, similar players maybe.
I have Deshaun as better.
Better, absolutely. I've never been a Cam fan, but I'm saying like he got to a Super Bowl there, right,
Yeah.
with Cam,
Yes,
with
sir.
that type of quarterback. So let's go get him that type of quarterback. And of all the quarterbacks that are semi-available, that's the one, right?
And Washington has to have cap space, right?
Oh, yeah.
Who are they paying?
Yeah, they ain't paying nobody. I mean, Chase Young will be coming up.
The problem will be because Deshaun is no trade.
Yeah.
So will he say?
Will he go there?
Will he say, "Yeah, I'll go play in Washington"?
I'll go be a
Commanders.
commie.
I'll go be a commie. I'll go play for the Washington Commies. I liked Washington football team better.
Me too.
Actually, I wouldn't say it was like my favorite team name, but it grew on me a little bit. I got used to it. Mm-hmm. Washington. It's Washington. I bet on Washington. What'd you bet on? I bet on Washington. Like it is. You don't have to say whatever.
So there you go.
So that's kind of interesting.
That's my big shocker.
I do like that though, man. Like any news going on right now that we have that we don't look stupid?
No, nothing.
Okay. That's like we just said it and we're like, wait, we better check Twitter real fast before we close this show up. Make sure nothing's happened. But do you?
Oh wow. There's one guy at ESPN saying that Russell Wilson may end up with the Panthers.
Well, hold on. Think about it.
He says Panthers, Browns, Raiders, or Saints.
It all makes sense to me, actually. Yeah. But actually, if I was him, I think Saints.
So,
I would think as a quarterback, if you're like waving a no trade thing, like going to the South would be like pretty sweet, right?
Yeah, I mean, let's go get some warm weather.
Also, going to the South, it's not super strong division, so you're like, oh, I could get like 10 wins.
Especially like I said, man, NFC South now to me is wide open.
I mean, who the best quarterbacks?
Matt Ryan,
maybe Jameis when he's good,
yeah.
or Jameis when he's great, or it's
he either throws a touchdown or a pick, right?
That's it. I mean,
he's like 5-yard dink and dunk. No, I'm throwing for the touchdown or the pick.
I mean, we talked about before the reason why freaking Tom probably chose to go to Tampa is they went 7-9.
Yeah,
and he threw 30
picks.
interceptions, and they won 7 games still. Like it's like, well, this team's probably pretty good because if I only throw 11 interceptions, they probably win 5 more games.
Yeah,
which is what happened. So yeah, that's a rundown on that. Do you want to do any kind of early thoughts on the Super Bowl?
I want to save all that for next week.
I want to give I'll get my bet out.
Yeah, I got Rams minus 4.5.
So I'm Rams minus 4 right now. I just kind of feel like I basically opened up the app and said, okay, at this point I'll take Rams minus 5 or better. That's it. I'm not betting on Bengals. I'm not betting on Burrow. So I'm taking minus 5 or better. And the reason I'm betting is not for Stafford. The reason I'm betting on Sean McVay and him having preparation time to do this. Now, it didn't work for him too well against Belichick, which is whatever, because Belichick's record against young quarterbacks like a Goff or even a young head coach is like insanely good because he just confuses the heck out of young guys. But McVay's going against another young guy, and it's a rookie. Second-year quarterback. Feels like his rookie season, but second-year quarterback and this pass rush that the Rams has put together is insanely good.
Yep.
Where the Rams are hurting is Chase will. Depending on what they're playing, Ramsey will be locking on Chase, but they have a liability in that back safety with Eric Weddle.
Yeah,
that's the best they could get off the streets, and I understand why they signed him, but that dude is a liability.
Hey, so real quick, kind of as we close up here, I do want to talk about the Glazier Clinic this weekend in Kansas City. A lot of coaches do follow our show. We have high school coaches on. So if you guys see me at the clinic, please come up and say hello. If you want to grab a beer, let me know.
You staying down there?
Yeah, I'm staying down there all weekend. So I'll be around.
Where's it at?
At the Crown Center.
So where do you go for a beer there?
There's a little hotel bar. There's little restaurant.
Well, I guess you are downtown. You could like literally Uber to
Uber
100
anywhere.
different bars. Gary's tearing Westport up tomorrow night.
Yeah, no. But anyway, yeah. If any of you guys see me, hey, just stop and say hello. Maybe if you show up, we could, even do
tomorrow night. No good.
Tomorrow or Saturday.
Maybe I don't know.
Record a show, with somebody.
Oh yeah.
I know.
I don't know.
I know. I'll be seeing Coach Harris down there.
Shout out Coach Harris.
I always see Will. We always sit and
he's all over the place.
Talk some ball, yeah. Which I went over to Ray South a couple weeks ago. Sat in his office with him for a couple hours and
just to hang out.
We talked some ball, yeah. He taught me a little defense. Yeah, taught me a little defense.
A little knowledge. You guys do a little knowledge stuff going on. Yeah. That's good.
So that's what this weekend's about.
Cool.
Just networking and whatnot.
I will say this: this show will obviously, we like to talk about whatever is going on, and so we'll be slowly transitioning into college basketball. Mm-hmm. And then once the NBA playoffs hit, we'll probably talk a little NBA, but I think I'm going to focus big time on college basketball. And then we'll do a little bit of Royals stuff if the MLB can get their stuff.
If they figure it out.
Yeah, if they figure it out, which they will figure it out at some point. There's too much money to lose. It'll be like a 12 o'clock hour, like, oh my God, we got to figure it out. Like, it's going to, they'll do it at the very end, 11:59. Mm-hmm. But I think they'll get it figured out in the home opener. But then I'm like, is there a big difference between the home opener and the second game?
No, other than price.
$40, you know what I'm saying? So I might do the second game then. So, but yeah, so that's it. We'll transition to college ball and stuff like that.
Yep.
And anything else, actually, on Twitter, jump on Twitter, hit us up.
Yeah.
If you guys want to talk about anything else, or if you want a guest on the show or whatever, just let us know and chat with us.
Yep. So, all right. Well, I'm Gary.
This is Austin.
This has been Midwest Mike's. We'll see you guys next week.
Is it acceptable to go to Mickey D's just for a drink? Of course it is. But good luck leaving with just a drink. It's more than a drink. It's a Mickey D's drink.
And right now, a small Minute Maid slushie is just $1.59. So all you have to do is choose a flavor, like the tropical mango or strawberry watermelon, and enjoy like it's meant to be enjoyed. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
At CDW, we get balancing disparate clouds can be messy.
Yep, it's like an ice cream cone. The more scoops you get, the greater the risk of failure.
Well, if you want 5 scoops, you should get 5 scoops. And with the Nutanix Enterprise Cloud Solution orchestrated by CDW, you can manage applications and data across all your clouds from a single point of control.
Is it weird that my mouth is watering?
A little. IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/Nutanix.